So one of the questions that comes up often is how do you find deals, right? Maybe you've gotten to the point where through whether it's listening to my podcast or on your own or whatever, deciding that you do want to grow through deal-driven growth in addition to your organic growth. And you even maybe have some ideas of the kinds of deals you want to do. And the question comes up is, how do I find deals? How do I locate deals? How do I locate companies to buy if I'm doing that, or to joint venture with, or to license my content to, or, whatever it is, right? But let's talk a little bit about some of the intermediaries in the space, what you can do on your own, and how deals get done. So one, obviously in certain spaces, certainly in the M&A space, there are intermediaries. What do I mean by intermediaries? Well, at the high end, there are investment bankers, right? Investment bankers who will take companies that are looking to sell and shop them, or do a what they call a buy side representation, where they represent buyers who are looking to acquire, and they actually go out and do the legwork and try to find those companies for you to buy, or package you to sell to someone else. And the thing with investment banking firms is that most of them will only work on deals, at a certain size, right? It might be, let's say 10 million purchase price and up, or they might express it in, in EBITDA. Maybe it's, it's a $2 to $3 million EBITDA, or maybe more, $10 million EBITDA, depending upon what type of investment banking, firm you're talking about. It's the bigger deals, your million, $2 million deals, $3 million deals, under that, whatever, usually not something, an investment banker is going to be interested in, depending upon the industry. Now, there are some other intermediaries, whether you call them small investment banking firms or business brokerage firms, or other, advisory firms that do work in that lower and middle market. And in fact, on the DealQuest podcast, we've had several of those folks come on in different regions where they do work, in those small and mid-sized deals. And, those folks may not provide certain of the comprehensive services that the big investment banking firms do, but they still find buyers, find sellers. They may do some level of evaluation services, maybe not as sophisticated as the bigger guys, and they do obviously package you. But again, it's a different level of service, but it may be just what you need if you're using an intermediary there. Now, the other way, and this would apply not only to M&A deals, but it would apply to any kind of deal, finding a strategic alliance, a joint venture partner, somebody to license with, whatever, is basically, your connections. I mean, it sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't do it. I mean, start with your professionals, for example, right? Any kind of, listen, if you have a very basic corporate lawyer, maybe just, forms entities and drafts contracts, maybe they're not as well connected, maybe they don't know your industry as well. But a lot of any attorney who represents multiple companies in your industry, or does a lot of deal work like we do, or whatever, is going to have a lot of connections out there, maybe direct connections to help you put deals together, connections to other professionals and intermediaries, certainly your accountants, and insurance people, potentially consultants you may work with. These are all people that, if you put the word out, and, you want to be careful, because especially if you're on the sell side in an M&A deal, you may not want people to know you're in play, but if you're buying companies, or you're looking to do joint ventures or strategic alliances, or licensing deals, or, online affiliate content deals, or whatever it is, there's often not a lot of harm in putting it out there, especially to trusted people in your network, your professionals and other people who may have those kind of connections. Business networking groups. I mean, one of the things that I love, and this is not a business networking group, it's a peer-to-peer learning organization. I've talked about Entrepreneurs Organization many times in other parts of my content. And, those kind of organizations where, we have like a Slack channel where we put out needs and leads, where people can help you, make introductions and find stuff. And then, industry conferences is a great thing. Whether it's in your industry, or if you're looking to expand another industry, going to the conferences and just meeting people, right? Sitting at lunch, meeting them in the hallways. I mean, I've seen more deals and relationships built, and deals found in hallways of conferences than certainly in the rooms. And sometimes that's even more valuable, with all due respect to my other, I'm a professional speaker as well, my professional speaker colleagues. I'm not saying there's not value in the content, but sometimes the biggest value that gets done is in the hallways and over meals and drinks. So that's another way to do it. In some industries, there's directories and listings or online matching services. For example, in the investment advisor space, there's a number of online matching services that, where deals are listed. And that's true in some other industries as well, where you can see that companies that are for sale online and potentially, figure out there. Often, it's sort of like in real estate. Sometimes those deals are good, but those are sort of the on-market deals that everybody gets to see. And sometimes your best deals are quote unquote off market. It's just that person you meet, those people that maybe aren't really in a process to have a lot of buyers or deal partners lined up, but you find the right synergies. You build a relationship with somebody. Maybe it's somebody who's older in your space who's looking to retire, and you can take over their business, things. And listen, there's social media nowadays and things like that, if it's appropriate to put it out. The last thing I'll say is just consistently getting the word out there, right? If you're looking to grow through a particular type of deal, if you want to expand into geography, if you're looking to buy smaller companies, if you want to, do some sort of strategic alliances with certain types of companies, just put the word out there. It's amazing who knows whose brother-in-law is X or whatever. And so many deals happen through that, in addition to the ones, especially on the smaller side, in addition to the ones that happen through professionals and intermediaries. And listen, I think the thing, and there's a lot of other resources out there that I can talk about specifically, but to keep this, relatively short and sweet, I think the key item to say is that the process of finding deals takes time and resources. It takes attention, right? It's not something that you can do. When you decide you want to grow through deal-driven growth, whatever type of deal it is, that is a project that needs a project plan, that needs a team, that needs funding, that needs, may not be significant funding, but it's got to be funding enough where at least you can pay certain people's salary to take a portion of your time away from other income producing activities to focus on this, right? It may take some expenses to do research, travel, or whatever it is. So, one of the biggest things in general in just seeking deals is to make sure that you make it a priority and you block time and resources and you have goals and things like that around it as well. So those are my initial thoughts on finding deals. And I hope that was helpful. Take care.